To improve your posture, you must be able to assess your posture. How else will you know you're improving? One basic parameter we can use is that we want a substantial distance between the back of the arms and the back of the rib cage at the height of the armpit. This might look unusual to you. Some even mistake this for rounded shoulders. But if you look at common pictures of people with so-called rounded shoulders, they do not have this distance between the back of their arm and the back of their rib cage. Their back is angled, just like in those with a more typical posture. You might think the arms are very far forward here, but really the torso is very far back. The torso is back in relation to the arms. It's also back in relation to the legs. That's why you see this distance here that is not present in most people. To better understand what's happening here, grab a book and a ruler, or a book and a pencil, and we'll model out the movement. And modeling it yourself will be much more impactful than just watching. The book will be our rib cage, the ruler will be our arm. We're looking at the rib cage from the side. The arm connects to the rib cage by the clavicle, which connects to the upper sternum. So we'll connect the ruler to the book at what would be the upper sternum of our rib cage book. What we see in most people is a pulling back with the upper sternum and a pushing forward of the lower end of the rib cage. The arm will go back with the upper sternum. This erases any distance between the back of the arm and the back of the body. To correct this, you don't want to pull the whole rib cage back. You need to pull the lower end back and move the upper end forward and up. Suddenly, we have distance between the back of the body and the back of the arm, and the arm can hang straight. We are not just moving the arms forward. That won't solve anything. But we also can't neglect the arms. Most people have shortened muscles in their arms because they've kept their arms pulled back, up, and in. As you succeed with moving your ribcage back in this specific way, your arms can't stay locked up and short. You have to allow them to hang with gravity, which at first will feel like work, because you have to pull them out of their habitual shortened state. If your arms are habitually pulled back like this, and that is the case for most people, you've set the musculature up to keep the arms pulled back. The muscles can even develop adhesions as they stay stuck in their shortened position. So while reorienting the ribcage helps, it will not just magically produce length in the arms. You have to fight against what the musculature has done for years or decades. Think about how genuinely uncomfortable that length will feel at first. That's the strange thing about it. Like a good massage, it's both freeing and painful. To reorient your torso and arm in a way that causes all the muscles to be longer is necessarily different feeling, unusual, not comfortable. But in time, you'll find the painful feeling goes away, while the freedom stays. You should also find that you're better able to get expansion through the back of your ribcage. So as you apply directions and make adjustments, take note. Is there a distance between the back of your arm and the back of your body? Let's say you reach your arms out for something, as we often have to do in life. Do your lower ribs go forward? Do you lose your distance? But be careful and don't cheat. Remember, pushing your arm forward is not the solution. You want to move your rib cage relative to your arm, back and up, and the up is important. Though you can move the back of your arm out, down, and forward in opposition to the back of your armpit line going back and up, so that your arm doesn't come back with the rib cage. You also need to consider this movement relative to the pelvis. It is possible to go too far back, and you'll end up going forward and down with the upper sternum. You'll be bending and shortening the other way. However, if we come back to what's changing here in the arm region, let's model one more piece. We have the direction to point the tip of the elbow out and not back. Most people, and I've observed a lot of people, point their elbow either on an angle back and a little out, or completely back. In our model, we can pretend the bottom of our ruler is the tip of the elbow. So as we move the rib cage back, we also have to turn the arm. Again, moving the back of the arm away from the back of the body. What's happening at the armpit? A reckoning and an earthquake. Pain and freedom. But freedom can quickly turn bad if it's not governed by reason. So I'm happy and sorry to say that you need to think. You have a lot of brain power, and some needs to be used on how you move. So the next time you're reaching out for something, or heck, the next time you're just standing somewhere, what's happening with the back of your arm and the back of the armpit line? Is there distance? Can you take 2 seconds and improve your posture? F.M. Alexander described the postural problems he saw in those around him. He said nearly everyone in the modern world has a hollow back and a lifted chest, that nearly everyone points their elbow back and not out. I think he was right. I think we can see that he was right. And I think a different posture is waiting for us if we apply our mind and push through a little discomfort.